Hey, sweetie. I just wanted to see how the wedding planning is going.
It's going well. I think that you'll really love what I've done. Are you sure you don't want to make any of the decisions? I know that it's your big day.
No, it's fine. I know you'll do just fine. I think you have a better eye for that kind of thing. I mean, you do that kind of thing for a living.
Not really. I'm an architect. That's nothing like a wedding planner.
Architect, interior designer, all of those jobs are so similar. You can't expect me to tell the difference.
I think I'm gonna have the rest of our lives to teach you the difference.
You don't need to worry about that, silly. I'm perfectly happy knowing that you're working and taking care of things. My dad's money will take care of the rest.
I thought you said that he's only going to be buying your first house.
Well, yeah, but if I get in trouble, he'll always save me. That's what dads do.
Is that what you're hoping I'll do for our daughters?
Our daughters? I think you're getting a bit too far ahead of yourself.
I thought you said that you want children. We talked about having 3 or 4. Or do you think that we'll end up with just sons?
Oh, wow. You're really planning my life out, aren't ya? I think that we need to take a few steps back. We're still really young, so let's focus on living. We're way too young to be talking about kids.
I guess. But I was hoping to be a dad around 25 and have a couple before I'm 30.
We can talk about all of that later. We just graduated from college. We can worry about kids and stuff in a few years. For now, focus on the wedding. I'm focused on the house.
Really? I thought your dad would start building it after the marriage.
Mom and I talked to him. It's going to be finished before the wedding. That means we can move right in.
We talked about designing it ourselves. I was really looking forward to it since that's my degree.
You'll be fine. I just want my house done, and waiting for you to finish school and the wedding and everything. Ugh, that's just too much. I want my house.
You mean our house?
Well, it's really more my house since my dad's building it for me.
I'm gonna get back to work on the planning. So you're sure you don't want to do any of the planning?
I've already said I don't care. You have it in text. Do you need it written and signed in blood? Jeez.
Whoa, what is up with you? This behavior is so out of character and really concerning.
I'm sorry. It's been a really rough week. The weekend cannot come fast enough.
I'm sorry, but please don't take out your frustration on me.
I said I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you go. This conversation is just irritating me more. And I don't want to upset you. Just give me some time to relax and unwind. I'll be back to my cheery self soon enough.
Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe order you some food or set up a weekend getaway?
Just give me space. Although, I might take you up on that getaway.
I know what it's like to have a rough work week. Just let me know and I'll have something planned by Friday when you get off work.
Actually, yeah. Go ahead with a getaway. That should help my mood.
You got it. And chin up. Things will get better.
I know. Now, leave me alone to be grumpy, unless you want more of my attitude.
Nope. Leaving you alone. But first, I love you. Tomorrow's the big day. Are you ready to get married?
That's a silly question. Of course I'm ready. Should be interesting to see what you've done.
I had some help from your dad.
My dad? Why?
Because he paid for some of it. I thought you knew.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Are you feeling okay?
I'm fine, just really tired.
Everything okay? Is there anything I can do to help? I'm not against coming over and helping you relax.
As great as that sounds, you aren't supposed to see me until the wedding.
Aw, that's old traditional stuff. I'm sure you'll be fine, especially if you need me to help you relax.
You're so bad. But I think we should wait. See you tomorrow.
See you then. And don't forget, I love you. Hey, Annie, why is your mother staying with us? Are your parents fighting or something?
What? No. She just knows how to get settled into a new place. I value her expertise when it comes to decorating a new house.
It is a lovely place. Not quite the way I would have designed it.
What's that mean? Are you saying my house is ugly?
No, just it kind of looks a bit like a Barbie dream house.
Why are you laughing? I love this house. And that was my inspiration. I wanted to live in a Barbie dream house since I was little. So now my dream finally came true.
Oh, well, then you should be really happy because they did great.
I know they did. I was heavily involved in the process.
Wait, is that why you didn't have time to help plan the wedding?
Well, of course. It was more important to get my house right. I mean, that's where I'll be living for the rest of my life.
I'll be living here too.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is my house, so it's not like your opinion really matters. I mean, I'll always have my house, but we're just married. Divorce happens, you know?
That's not funny.
Oh, yeah, I guess not. I know you must be feeling pretty upset since we postponed the honeymoon.
Yeah, I still don't understand why you thought we couldn't go. I had everything planned and was gonna pay for anything not covered yet.
We weren't really going anywhere.
We were going to the city for 4 days. I thought that would be perfect since you didn't want to take time off work.
What are you talking about? I wanted a real honeymoon. Paris, Rome, Honolulu, somewhere fun and exciting. The nearest city does not qualify.
When I asked you where you wanted to go, you said that you wanted to stay close.
I don't remember saying that.
Here are the texts.
Oh, I was busy with the house at that time. You should have asked me again. Heaven knows you asked about everything else a million times.
Look, I'm sorry the honeymoon isn't as exciting as you wanted, but you really should have said something.
It's a honeymoon, Nolan. You should have known that I wanted something fun and exciting. It's common knowledge that the honeymoon should be romantic and exciting.
What's going on, Annie? You've been acting really strangely for the last month or so.
It's like the last couple of months you've been taking advantage of me.
Taking advantage of you? How do you figure that?
You know exactly what I mean.
No, I really don't. What has happened since I left to get us groceries?
You started asking why my mother's living here. At the wedding, she pointed out how hostile you've been toward her.
What?
We'll talk when you get back. I'm just disappointed and upset with you right now.
How did that even happen in the last 20 minutes? What is going on?
I said we'll talk when you get back.
I want to know what is going on with you.
I've already spelled it out for you. What more do you need? Keep it up and I'm gonna want a divorce.
Divorce? We haven't even been married a week.
I'm starting to realize that you just aren't the right man for me. You're pushy, thoughtless, and cruel. And you've been making fun of my house.
What? How did you even come to these conclusions?
I don't even want to look at you.
Whoa! I'm coming home. Clearly we need to talk.
Did you not read what I said? I don't want to look at you. If you ignore my boundaries, I'll call the police.
Bertha, is there a history of mental illness in your family? Or your husband's family? What are you saying? Are you accusing me of being insane? I knew you hated me. Now you're trying to drive me away. I'm not. I'm concerned because Annie went from loving wife and blushing bride to acting like she hates me. I don't understand what's happening. I told her about your side piece. My what? What side piece? Oh, don't act innocent. I know what you've been up to. How you've been plotting to take her house. Then you plan to bring your girlfriend into the house. Well, it's not going to happen. I'm gonna protect my daughter. I didn't do anything. Don't you yell at me. I no longer feel safe around you. Stay away. What is going on? Leave my daughter and I be. We don't need your cheating, abusive presence in our sanctuary. Clearly you guys are up to something. Jeff, can you please tell me what's going on with your family? I just don't understand how your wife and daughter are acting. Hi, Nolan. Is something wrong? Yes. I went away to pick up groceries and now they're saying that they're scared of me and I can't return home. Well, there's the saying, no smoke without fire. So my question would be, what did you do to make them react like that? Nothing. I kissed Annie goodbye and left for the store. Knowing that I couldn't talk to her about her mother in person, I asked why Bertha was living with us. It's like a switch was flipped, and she came across as very upset. Ah, that explains a lot. She and her mother are very close. If you say something about one of them, they both get really upset. I've learned to just let them do their thing. My recommendation to you is to just leave them be for a while. Just run a bunch of errands. I'm sure this will be fine by this evening. I've never seen Annie act this way before, though. She's hidden this side of her very well. I don't much like what you're suggesting, young man. From the way you're talking, my daughter may have a point. I'll take your advice and give them time to cool off. And in the future, don't go making assumptions. This is why I thought that you weren't a good fit for my daughter. You're uncouth and do not understand nuances. She comes from a different class and deserves much better. Have a good day, sir.
I have the divorce papers ready for you to sign. Come by the house this afternoon to sign them.
I can't today, Annie. I'm currently out of town on a business trip.
You are? Why didn't you tell me? I'm your wife, for Pete's sake.
What do you care? And you're only my wife because I'm not there to sign and file the papers. So at this point, I see no reason to tell you anything. From here on out, please only contact me through my lawyer.
What do you mean, your lawyer? I'm the one who filed the divorce papers. You don't need a lawyer for that.
Ah, you thought I was just gonna sign the papers? That's not surprising.
Of course you should just sign the papers. What could you possibly hope to gain by reading it? I just followed what was in the prenup. Since we weren't married long, I don't owe you anything. The house is mine.
Yes, you made that quite clear. But your pointing to the prenup makes me realize that you never actually read it.
Oh, why would I read it? You were after my money. I made sure it was protected.
What money? Your dad is the one who has money. You don't even have a job.
I don't need a job. I come from money, so I don't have to earn anymore.
Your mother was the affair partner. You have 5 older siblings from 2 previous marriages. How much money do you actually think you're going to get?
My dad can't say no to my mom. Whatever she wants, he'll give her. And since she plans to live with me in my gorgeous house, she'll get all the money she needs to make it spectacular inside, too.
You don't think your father will have a problem with her living with you instead of him?
He'll get over it. It's not like he cares that much. He never gave me much attention. My mom is just as disgusted with him as I am. That's just another reason why she's going to live with me.
Sounds like you have it all figured out.
Of course I do. Just like I got you to do all of that work for our wedding. I knew that we weren't going to stay together, so I saved my precious time and money. Now I can go on a real vacation with my boyfriend. You're such a disappointment. Thinking it was good enough to take me somewhere close? Clearly you have no idea what women want.
Well, this whole thing has made me realize that I'm not a very good judge of character. That comes as a real disappointment.
And yet you don't feel a fraction of the disappointment you made me feel with that pathetic honeymoon. I'm so glad that you were too stupid to realize what was going on. My mom told me that all I had to do was bat my eyes and men would fall over themselves for me. It's so funny to see that she was right. Even a nerd like you fell victim to a pretty face.
Actually, it was your personality that I liked. The way you looked was actually a problem. That's why I really didn't like you at first.
Yeah, right. I know what you were doing.
Focusing on school?
No, you were playing hard to get. You wanted to feel like I was pursuing you. Since you were so socially inept, it was all too easy to get you to fall for me.
As I recall, you had to do a lot of work. That's why I thought you were serious. I overlooked way too much because I thought you didn't know better.
I was playing you.
Sure, I know that now. But even then, you really couldn't hide that nasty side of you that well. I just didn't want to see it. That will teach me a lesson.
Whatever. When you get back, I have the papers ready for you to sign. And don't go saying that you want to read them. No one ever reads that stuff.
I'm sure your father does.
That's because he's a genius businessman, duh. You're just some nerdy guy who didn't realize he was getting played.
Funny. I would have thought your mom played your dad.
Well, yeah. Do you really think that someone almost 20 years younger than him was interested in him? It was always about his money. And he has to know that. It's not like he has anything else to offer.
Did you know that your dad is away on business?
What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, just small talk. I've got to go. Good luck, Annie.
When will you be back? I really want to move on.
I really can't say, but don't worry. I'll stop by to see you first.
What did you do?
Hi, Annie. I'm sorry, what are you referring to?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. How did you convince my father that I didn't deserve the house? Even worse, he says he's going to divorce my mother and leave us with nothing.
Oh, he was with me when you were texting the other day. He saw everything you said.
What?
Yeah, when you started acting really shady, I installed some cameras in the house. It was clear you were gonna try to kick me out. As long as we were married, though, I had every right to protect my property.
It's my house!
Your father says otherwise. Anyway, I meant I knew that you and your mother were stealing from me. I have footage of you guys taking money out of my wallet. It really irked me because I had to use a card to pay for my client's lunch the next day. It's so ineffective.
What are you talking about? Who cares about your clients or your wallet?
I care very much for both of them. Anyway, the footage also recorded what you and your mother were planning. She was going to divorce your father, so he just decided to give her what she wanted. And since you've both had your boyfriends over to my house, neither of you are getting anything.
You can't do this! I'm wealthy!
Your father is, not you. Although I have no sympathy for him in all of this. He's only treating me well because he found out who my parents are.
Your parents are irrelevant. Why would anyone care?
My wife should care. And that brings me to our divorce. It won't be necessary.
Of course it's necessary! Wait, who are your parents?
They own the parent company of Pear. You know, the big tech company?
No, they don't. They have a different last name.
My mom kept her maiden name. She just uses my dad's name in public because it attracts more money. I didn't like the attention I got growing up, so I changed my last name to my mom's.
So, you're from an even richer family? No, you're lying. You wouldn't be working like a dog if you were.
I had to get my degree to prove I could balance work and personal life.
I know you're lying. Your parents didn't even bother to come to the wedding.
Funny you should mention that. They were just as happy about us marrying as your parents. It's the only thing that I failed at lately. My dad's going to retire in a few years, leaving me in charge. In the meantime, I'm in charge of designing the new buildings because we're expanding. And I'm gonna work toward another degree. Having a double major doesn't feel like enough now. But they aren't rushing me to marry now, so thanks for that.
If that's true, then I'm gonna tear up the divorce papers.
It won't matter. I wasn't gonna sign them.
I won't divorce you if what you say is true.
Since you committed fraud, marrying me just to get the house, I had the whole thing annulled. And your father knows that. Since the house was a wedding present and now I've rejected you, he's taking the house back. Anyway, I hope you learned an important lesson.
You can't do this to me! How am I supposed to live?
You have a degree. Use it.
Wait, sweetie. We can work this out. I still love you.
Annie and Bertha were kicked out of the home. Hoping to smooth things over with me and gain my parents' attention, Jeff tried to give me the house. I rejected it, saying that it was a hideous house with no good memories. He tried to be nice to me, but I had already learned how he actually felt about me. At least, until he learned who I really was. His company ended up hitting some hard times, mostly because his personal life was splashed all over the front pages. It didn't look good since his family only seemed to attract negative attention in their personal lives. I heard he sold the house to try to recoup some of the costs. Annie ended up actually getting a job. Since she didn't score particularly well, and she had no experience, she started at the bottom. Her mother hadn't worked in a couple of decades, so she had a really hard time convincing anyone to employ her. They had a small 2-bedroom place that one of her half-siblings helped her get. Most of her family disowned her, but one of her half-sisters was really into charity work. I think it got that sister a lot of brownie points in her social group, helping the two family outcasts and looking like the bigger person. Not that Annie and Bertha were thankful. I heard that they were barely speaking to each other because they each blamed the other for what happened. I designed several new facilities for my father's company while working toward my 3rd degree. He took a little longer to retire, mostly because he wanted to make sure that the board saw how valuable I was. My bad marriage made them question my ability to make decisions and to judge people. However, after 8 years, I proved that I had learned my lesson, and all of my projects were ranking in huge profits. My dad is planning on retiring at the end of this year, and the board has already said that they're ready to bring me on as the new CEO.